Hey everyone, Alex here for Bright Dog Academy. If you'd like me to personally answer any questions you may have about your dog, be sure to head over to brightdog.com where you can learn about my online training program, plus pick up a copy of the official Bright Dog Academy ebook.
Children and dogs can be a great combination, and it can also be a horrible combination. It's all about, the adults, us teaching the children what is allowed and what's not allowed. Because if we don't teach our children and we're not responsible for their actions when they're around dogs, we're asking for something bad to happen. Whenever you see videos of dogs biting children or hear about it in the news, 99% of the time, those things could have been completely avoided. It's human error, adult error, more importantly. So I want to teach you guys just some basic rules that we need to follow when we have children, young children, and dogs, especially large dogs. So the first rule is that we never ever leave our children alone and unsupervised with large dogs, or any dogs rather. Young children, let's say 10 years and younger, okay? And even that's maybe 13 years and younger. We never ever leave them alone because we simply just can't trust them. You can teach them and explain to them that when the dog's licking their lips, don't go near them. That when the dog is starting to yawn, don't go near them. That don't hug the dog, but there's no guarantee that the kid's not going to hug the dog. So we have to be very careful. It's very easy to set up our children for success and set up the dog for success simply by not leaving them alone. This is the most common time that dogs and children, there's an incident between them, is when they're left unsupervised. Our 5-year-old can say that he wasn't doing anything and the dog just bit him for no reason. That's never true. There's always a reason why dogs bite. So for your children's safety, for other children's safety who comes over, if you have a dog, we never leave them alone. Okay? That is rule number 1. We never leave our dogs alone with children. Number 2 is trying our best to teach our children the warning signs so they know what to look for, and just general rules for how they should interact with dogs. One of the biggest things that we need to teach them is we don't hug dogs. That's one of the most common things that I see little kids doing is going up, hugging dogs. Dogs display all the warning signs, and then what happens? The child gets bit, and then the dog gets put down because the dog was aggressive, and that's not the case at all. So, teaching our children signs to look for. Check out the whole warning signs video, but real quick, licking the lips, yawning, blinking rapidly, looking away, complete avoidance, trying to get away from the child. All of these things are warning signs. Now again, we can't expect a 5-year-old to reliably look for those things, which is why we never leave them alone with dogs. But it's a good idea to try to start teaching them those things. Now, we teach them rules, like no hugging dogs. They actually did a study with children, and they asked them, what does it mean when a dog is burying their teeth at you? Like that. And they showed them a picture. And 70% of kids said the dog is smiling and wants a hug. The reality, the dog is baring his teeth as a warning sign, saying, get away. I'm 1 second away from biting you. Okay? So we need to teach them, if we have children or having children come over, we want to teach them the rules and try our best to teach them about dogs and what is allowed and what's not allowed. Okay? Another thing to keep in mind with children, why there's sometimes a problem with dogs, is children are loud and they move quickly. To dogs, that can get their prey drive going. When small children start running around, prey drive is something in dogs that it's what makes them want to chase movement. It's what makes movement very exciting to them. And this is, if you have a little kid that's running around, screaming, that's a very easy way for a dog to get worked up. The dog thinks that the child wants to play, and the dog goes running over and knocks the kid over. So we want to keep this in mind that when you have children over, we want to try to teach them to be calm around dogs. If that's not going to be the case, let's not risk an incident and we simply just put the dog, outside or put them in a different room and just isolate them, because it's not worth the risk. So many times I have seen and read and heard of incidents happening, and they can all be prevented. The biggest thing that it comes down to is we never leave our dogs alone with, children unsupervised. Okay, so these are just some tips for people who have children. If you have children coming over with dogs, just some tips to try to keep everybody safe.